My name is Brandon. I'm a former police sergeant and assistant SWAT team leader. Today, my mission continues with a remarkable organization called Here Tomorrow, whose mission is the removal of all barriers to mental health support in order to save lives. Welcome to our podcast, Clearing the Minefield. The men and women in uniform who will be our guests have made extraordinary sacrifices in service to their people. Now, with strength and resilience, they live their lives on the road to wellness. We ask you to understand that some of the raw and real experiences they'll be sharing may be unsettling to some viewers. Now walk with me, friend, as we clear the minefield. Welcome back. This is Clearing the Minefield. Today we've got an incredible guest, Jared Reston, Jacksonville Sheriff's Office police officer with an incredible story of survival. I want to give a quick shout out to our friends and sponsors at Demons Behind Me. Go to demonsbehindme.com. You can check out some badass apparel from a badass group of guys. They are mental health forward, and they do a hell of a lot to support military and first responders, so we always appreciate them coming on. Jared, thank you for coming this morning, brother.
Thanks for having me on, man.
I'm really glad to have you. You're a bit of a local legend, so I know about your story, but I know about it from the perspective of somebody on the outside. So
Yeah.
This is the first time I'm able to sit down with you and hear it from you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess you call it a local legend, I guess. I don't know, but
I could from my perspective.
it was a good one. It was a good story.
That it was. Listen, you mind telling me a little bit? Are you from Jacksonville? You're native from Jacksonville?
Pretty much from Orange Park, which, the suburb of Jacksonville.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah, so local from the beginning, right?
Yeah, ish. From late elementary school on, so I consider that I'm from here.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Did you graduate from Orange Park?
Yep, graduated Orange Park.
I graduated in 92 from Mandarin. What about you?
96 from Orange Park.
96?
Yeah.
I'm always the oldest, man. It's never working out for me. What's it like growing up in North Florida for you?
It was great. I mean, I had a great group of friends, still a good group of friends. I like the area, still live in the area, so yeah.
Yeah, you would have left, I guess.
Yeah, I would have left if it wasn't cool.
If it didn't go that way. I've been spending a lot of time in Orange Park. We've been doing some work with Clay County over there, so it's really good to see how responsive all the first responder agencies have been to kind of getting the mental health support.
Yeah. Clay County's doing great. Michelle Cook is a great sheriff. She was one of my lieutenants here at the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office before she started making it big time.
Man, I think I was with Jacksonville for about a year, and as a bailiff.
Yeah.
You remember when they had that bailiff?
I was a bailiff.
Were you?
Yeah.
Look at that. So I was with JSO for about a year. Then I switched over to Atlantic Beach, where I spent the rest of my career. But Michelle was, I think, a sergeant then. And then she eventually was, of course, rose through the ranks at JSO, was the chief at Atlantic Beach.
Yeah.
And now is the sheriff in Clay County.
Yes.
So what an extraordinary story she is.
Oh, yeah. She's great.
Yeah, pretty remarkable. So, Jared, what was it about law enforcement that drew you? What was it about the profession that made you want to do it?
I mean, I feel like it was maybe not wanting to grow up ever. You know what I mean? Like, I played team sports in high school and college, and just my eldest brother is a policeman, and I'd ride with him, and I could see the camaraderie and like just the brotherhood and the just the fun they would have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Together, and not sitting behind a desk doing stuff and putting my skills for good, not evil type thing. You know what I mean? Like, and just being able to get out there and do stuff and make a difference.
I love that. Yeah, I think that's on some level that's what draws most of us in. I think we want to do something with the skills that we have, with the mindset that we have, and want to have it be positive. But you're right, man. It's not always expected. I think one of the weirdest days for me was when my childhood images were shattered and I had to arrest the Easter Bunny.
Yeah.
It's just some of this stuff gets thrown at you, but not every day.
Yeah.
Do you have to arrest the Easter Bunny? So that's good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's always great. I mean, I just had I think I had a blessed career. Had a lot of fun. I spent majority of my time on the SWAT team. We were a full-time SWAT team, so I got to do a lot of really, really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Got put in a lot of crazy positions, and in my career, but it's fun.
No doubt about it. Yeah, Atlantic Beach, we were a part-time SWAT.
Yeah.
So we didn't have that much to respond to. We weren't as busy as JSO, but I was really lucky to be in a department that just emphasized training early on.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So it was really a lot of good learning opportunities there. And of course we worked with JSO because we're in the county.
Yeah, we're in the county. Yeah.
Right? So we got to work with JSO all the time. Just a lot of good dudes out there.
Oh yeah. That was great.
Yeah. What do you think was your favorite thing about law enforcement?
Like, my favorite thing about law enforcement really, and like people get, is truly taken like the bullies out. Like, you know what I mean? Like not physically hurt them, but just, you know, put them in jail, arrest the drug dealer, do like things that just they're terrorizing the community and I can do something about it. Like, I mean, I've truly felt in the positions that I was in, I truly did make a difference. It wasn't, and it's not different, but like I wasn't writing a ticket. I wasn't
Yeah,
doing this. I was doing stuff that was proactively helping save lives or take bad people off the streets.
for sure. Nothing against the traffic unit. Don't come
Nothing,
after
no,
us, guys.
no, not at all. Like, I mean,
Yeah, you're
we
fine.
all need all these things, like, you know, and but it was, I just felt like I was hands on helping communities.
Absolutely. One of the things I always said in training, I traveled around the country and trained a lot of police officers in Krav Maga. And
Yeah.
I always say we teach good people to do bad things to bad people.
Oh yeah,
you know.
yeah, 100%.
So, that's kind of the gig. So early on in your career, you patrol. How long were you on patrol before you went to SWAT?
Uh, roughly 2.5 years.
Pretty quick.
I made SWAT, you know, right after like the 2 year mark, but then it takes you a little bit to get up to the SWAT office. So I was doing dual duties of SWAT and patrol for several years, and then was on the task force. We were on the Showdown task force, and then I moved over into the SWAT office for the rest of my career.
That's outstanding, man.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about what it's like what do you need to do to get on the SWAT team to prove your mettle and get there?
I mean, to get there is mostly just physical, because I mean that's all we would expect out of you. Like, we didn't expect you to shoot as good as us. We didn't expect you to know CQB as good as us. We didn't know you to know, but we did expect you to be probably in better shape because you're younger. Like, you know, you're a new, like that's all you're offering us is a hardened person with good mindset that, you know, so getting in shape was wild. Like for me, I played defensive line in college. So I was like 265 in the academy. And that's when I decided I wanted to join the SWAT team when they did their little presentation. And I was like, well, I'm going to have to lose a bunch of weight. Like, so I had to drop down to 200 to make the SWAT team, and then just maintained it. Because the SWAT team is not designed for bigger guys. It's designed for guys like, you know, I mean, like little ninjas to bounce around. And
Right.
like,
Yeah.
you know, and there's about 4 or 5 of big guys on the team, and we just clunked through and did our thing, but we made it. You know, it was pretty.
I tell you what, there, brother. I mean, you're right. It's,
Yeah.
You really generally you're looking for the speed, but we had a dude on our SWAT team, Jimmy Hundley.
Yeah.
Still a sergeant out in Atlantic Beach. He's a NFL practice squad guy.
Yeah.
Big dude.
Yeah.
When that dude hit a door, that door came off.
Yeah.
So I really appreciated having the big guys.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have to worry about that door getting open.
Yeah.
It's coming open.
Yeah.
When you first get over to SWAT and you've transitioned out of patrol and you're full-time duty there, was the SWAT culture different from patrol culture? And if so, what did you find there?
It's much different than patrol as a whole, but I surrounded myself. I had 3 other partners, and they called us like the 4 horsemen, and like we were just proactive dudes, and we were out there hitting it, and we kind of all went, like, got on task force together. Like someone would leave and we would all just kind of end up together. We always ended up together kind of like throughout our career. So we had a very good just culture about us that kept us. The SWAT cultures, you know, it's a stressful culture just because they expect perfection out of us.
Sure.
And perfection's not so there's a lot more fear of letting others down or just messing up that once, and then you're off the team or whatever it is. Like it's different than patrol. You know, in patrol you can mess up and be like, I messed up, and then you get like a written reprimand. You know what I mean? Or you can get something, but not on SWAT. Like you're gone.
Yeah,
like it's a different. You have to strive for perfection and understand you're not going to get it. Yeah. And you might end up in a little bit of trouble. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you understand you're not going to get it, right? Yeah. But other people don't necessarily understand you're not going to get it. But I think you're right. You know, I think when you're on SWAT, the eyes are on you.
Oh yeah, 100%.
In your agency, you're the best of the best. So,
yes.
You know, the eyes are on you. They expect you to be better, stronger, faster, smarter, more capable.
Oh yeah.
And man, the second you're not, that can turn on you.
Well, I mean, then because they look for you to. People are looking for you to fail because like sure. There's haters and everything. You know what I mean? There's people maybe who now have a higher rank that didn't make the SWAT team and don't like the SWAT team or don't like, and there's always that dynamic. But I mean, for the most part, when I've been around, we have done our mission, so we were successful, so we were good.
There you go.
So it's, but people always root for failure. Like, when they mess up, but I feel like we take our lumps and keep on going. We're all right.
I actually had a former chief tell me he didn't like SWAT guys because we asked too many questions.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
none of that thinking, man.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I apologize. So in this role, you've obviously got quite a bit, and I don't know if most people understand the level of training that's available to patrol in most agencies, as opposed to the level of training that is available to and required of, I should say, SWAT. But you're operating at a pretty high level here.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I think at some point that mentality, that training, all of the grit, the brass balls you got to have to do that job probably helps you survive, right?
Oh, 100%. I mean, it pushes. It's not a surviving culture. It's a winning culture. Like it's like, you're going to win. You're going to try to be the best. I mean, that's why they allow you to train. That's like, if we failed at missions, why would they let us train all the time? Like, they let us train because we succeed at our missions and we get them done. And does it take that much training? I don't know, but we got it and we use it and we do it and we succeed. So that's how much, what I mean? They're going to keep giving it to us.
Absolutely. And you touched on this earlier, but doing bad things to bad people, right?
Yeah.
We'd go in and knock down a crack house. We'd take these people out, and often these are right next to parks where children are playing.
Oh, yeah.
That kind of thing. And it's just, you see the investigative videos leading up to it. You see deals and violence going down with children playing in the background.
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of the motivation for a lot of people that maybe don't understand that.
Yeah. And it's just the people that won't come out and walk their streets, the people that won't, just because they're the culture outside of they're like, well, they're just drug addicts. They're not just drug addicts. Mm-hmm. There's a dealers. There are the enforcers. There's everybody there outside of a trap house that turns like that little nucleus and right there into a war zone.
Yeah.
Like drive-bys, just because other rival gangs, the violence that comes around drugs is crazy. Like, everyone talks about the militarization of the police and all that. It wasn't the militarization of the police. Back in the 70s, early 80s, before crack hit, there was no such thing as a crack house. There was no such thing as bars on the armored up AK-47s inside. I mean, we came across AK-47s every week on a search warrant. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just, they militarized. We're just meeting that. Before, you just go knock on a door and be like, hey, man, you're arrested for Quaaludes or whatever. And the narcotics guys had some cool zip up jackets on or something. It's not what. So there is no militarization of the police. We're just meeting today's threats, and crack cocaine is what changed that. That's what turned it into a freaking war zone. The drug dealers weren't as violent as they were until crack cocaine, you know what I mean, and heroin.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, if you don't want to get involved in violent crime, just stay as far away as you can from any illicit drug activity.
Yeah.
If you do that, you have
really high chance of being okay.
Really high chance.
Yeah.
You're going to be okay. But you're right, man. That's just where the violence is localized. I want to fast forward us to a bit because I was on duty one night.
Okay.
And I heard a hell of a call go out. That was you. You were involved in that call. And this again is a deeply personal thing, man. It's from the outside one hell of an experience.
Yeah.
Would you mind telling us about that night?
Yeah. So, back in 2008, I was working off duty at the Regency Square Mall. And actually, it was me and my partner, one of the Four Horsemen, were working together. He was like my partner, and we were just working off duty together. We got notified of a shoplifter. We couldn't get to him. There was a Belk's Loss Prevention. They were exiting out of the south doors. We were like the mall security officer on the north side, so we wouldn't be able to make it. But we brought it up on camera, and a white male and a black male exit the store. You can see Loss Prevention come up. They identify themselves as Loss Prevention. The white guy begins to fight him right away. And I was like, oh, shoot. And it's on video. So me and my partner take off to get out there. And by the time we make it to him, the white guy, they already had their tussle. He was in cuffs. They were dusting everybody off. And they said, hey, man, the black guy also stole something. We would like him apprehended. And we're like, all right, well, where's he at? And if you're familiar with like Arlington Expressway or Regency Square Mall, it's about a 75-yard parking lot, and then right there is a large bus stop. Well, the bus stop was crowded, but the suspect kind of separated himself from the crowd so he could see what was happening with his buddy. So when he did that, they were like, he's right there. So we, you know, the big aha moment when, suspect saw us see him, and he's like, oh, well, I got to run.
It's on. Yep.
Now I got to run.
That's
So
the go button.
So he took off running, and we gave chase. And so it happened about 7:40 at night. So we had to do a little bit of Frogger across Arlington Expressway. And what happened was he ran to the shopping center across the street and got stuck, not stuck, but like caught, had to run across the front of it as we just cut through the parking lot. So we were able to gain on him. And one of the tactics me and my partner always used was when like we worked 2-man together, was I would always run and he would call him in, and like, so I don't have to worry about the radio. He'd just keep us in sight and do it. So like as I saw the suspect, like before he rounded that corner, I saw his legs buckle a little bit. I was like, ooh, you got that lactic acid. I got you, buddy.
It's coming.
So I was like, hey, I'm going to go get him. So I picked up and started running. So I got to the corner and he started walking on the sidewalk where Atlantic Boulevard is. And I don't know if he was tired, acting nonchalant, like, I just wasn't running from the police. I don't know if he really even saw us because he was kind of coming here and we're cutting through the parking lot. I don't know what he saw. But he was walking, so I round that corner, draw my taser, kind of pie around it with my taser out and say, hey, man, you're now dealing with the police. Like, let's go back and handle this situation. Well, he turns around and he looks at me and he puts his hands up but doesn't ever say anything, but he keeps like backpedaling. And I'm just saying, hey, man, stop or I'm going to tase you. And then he turns and starts running. And I was like, all right. So we run for a little bit longer. I gave him a lot more commands than I typically do. Probably would if I was on duty, but I don't know if like just subconsciously I'm like, man, I don't want to tase this dude. It's off duty. I don't want to do, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like,
a lot goes into
that. And you're like, but so finally I go to tase him, squeeze the trigger. I had the laser on his back. I squeeze the trigger. Nothing happens. No pop, no nothing.
Tasing.
So when I realized nothing's happening, I look down and I can see the taser counting down, the LED readout on the back. And I'm like, great. So, but as that's happening, I'm closing that gap. So I have to safe it, holster it, and then I go hands on with him like within seconds. You know what I mean? Probably 2 seconds. But as soon as I put my hand on him, he had a black hooded zip up sweatshirt. So as soon as I put my hand on his hood, because I was going to just dump him backwards and we'd go to the ground and I'd take him into custody. Well, as soon as I put my hand, he swung high, like with his right hand and just broke my grip and then came to rest just like this, which tells you what?
Ready to go.
He's ready to fight. Yeah. Like, this wasn't like, hey, I'm not trying to get away. It was not a pat, like, oh my gosh. It was, he lowered his chin, he brought him up, he bladed his body, and I'm like, all right. And I like to fight. So I'm like, all right, roger that. Let's go.
And
yeah.
I got to say, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize when the vast majority of the force that we use is people trying to get away from us.
Right.
Right. They're not trying to stay, fight, and hurt us. They're trying to
they want to get away. So, and there's a difference in that. Huge. Like you can, and it's very, and that's what I like when I train police. Like, you got to recognize that difference. You got to recognize that tucking of the chin, these nonverbal, like, hey man, the bell is rung, the fight is happening. You just haven't swung yet. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's on no matter what at this point, So when I recognized that, I still wanted to get him. We were close. So I still wanted to get him to the ground. So I brought him close and was like headbutting and elbow striking and knee striking, trying to get him to the ground. And then my partner would come up and we would take him into custody. Well, like seconds into that, I don't know where he produced it from, but he produced a Glock 21 from him somewhere on his body. I didn't recognize the signs that he was armed. Like, when you're chasing somebody, you can, like, they'll grab and do, he wasn't really showing the signs that he was armed. So didn't know it. And then
two, can I ask you?
Yeah.
Because this is a shoplifting call.
Oh yeah.
Right. This is, probably small dollar amount, right? This isn't
pair of jeans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good God, man. So you wouldn't go into this thinking, this isn't a stolen vehicle. This isn't a, that's Signal 5 suspect.
Yeah. I mean, it was a shoplifting at Regency Square Mall, which we did every weekend. You know what I mean?
All the time.
And it was a foot chase, which we do every weekend. There was nothing. that was out of the ordinary about this case, you know what I mean, or
Sure.
this incident. So when I get him, and we're still like seconds into it, I didn't hear a shot. I never saw the gun. I felt the heavy impact to my face, and I started falling to my left. I can't say I didn't see the muzzle. I don't know if it was muzzle flash or getting punched in your face. You know, you'll see stars or that bright, like, so. But the first shot hit me dead center in my jaw right here and exited out my neck,
Mm.
and then struck my shoulder right here into the tab of my body armor. And it made me, we were on like on the upper bank of a dried retention pond, probably like 25-yard circumference, 5 feet deep, or, you know what I mean? Doesn't have water in it unless it's raining. So I start rolling down that, and I thought he punched me. And I was like, all right, Jared, he caught you with a good one. Get up, get up, get up. You know, like, you know, when you're hit pretty good,
Mm-hmm.
your brain's working at speed, but your hands aren't. Like, you're like,
Yeah.
get up. Like, why aren't my hands
Yeah.
working? And I'm like, you know, get up. And then I stand up and I look, and he's standing over top of me, shooting me. And I have it, like, when I talk about this, like, it it pissed me off, but not like a blind rage.
Mm.
It was more of a, like, you're going to race your buddy and he jumped and no one called it. Like, you know, like, you didn't see that? Like, you know what I mean? It was like, okay, I didn't know we were doing this.
Yeah.
So then as I'm like shaking off my cobwebs, he's still shooting me and he's walking away. And like, it was not trying to get a, like, legitimately, I think he thought he killed me and was going to walk away, still acting nonchalant. Like, I don't think he knew my partner would have came up seconds after. But as he's walking away and on my movements, he would shoot at me. Um, but when I drew my pistol, I'm laying on my back. I drew my pistol and started engaging him strong hand only, pushing off the ground. So like when this happened, that's when, like, he's like, oh, he's not dead. And he tried to come back on me and put me down. So he's coming to me. I'm fighting. I'm trying to get to my feet. I never make it to my feet. I make it to my knees. And I'm shooting strong hand only. And he's coming to me. And he gets close enough to me that I can get him. So I lunge up and I grab him and I pull him to me. And as I pull him to me, like, his head's right in front of me, like we're kind of belly to back. And as I'm falling, as soon as we hit the ground, I put my muzzle to his head and I give him 3 contact shots to his head, like ending that fight. Um, and then once that's done, I kind of roll him over into a culvert, and then just kind of, because people think like you're going to be rationally thinking in these. You, like, legitimately, you go back to your training, however much training you had. And like, to me, it was like, I got to contain this guy for Chris to come put cuffs on him, because I'm not getting up and doing it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So I was like, oh, there are the culverts right here. So like I rolled him into that culvert and I kicked him into the culvert, but like pushing me away. And the whole time keeping cover on him, which is legitimately, you just shot a dude 3 times in the head. You felt his body turn into a sack of potatoes, you know, and you roll him over. Like, rationally, he's dead. But training wise, you don't know if he's a zombie. You don't know, like, you know, whatever's going to happen. So like, man, I kept cover on him until my partner came up, made contact with my partner. My partner goes and verifies that he's dead, comes back to me, starts buddy aid immediately. Like, it was, that story has so much training value. It's an amazing story. Like, and that's why I'm proud to tell people about it. Like, especially with officers, like, it has the physical fitness, it has your weapons malfunctioning, it has getting hit, has giving hits, has, you know what I mean? It has everything in it. Then all the way up to like buddy aid and just how important training is.
Incredible, man. And I want to touch on something that you kind of alluded to earlier, but I hear this from men all the time, right?
Yeah.
Men who are not usually in a position where they're really going to have to defend themselves, but they say, man, if somebody ever tried to hurt my kids, I would do this, I would do that.
Right.
And I think they have this illusion that they're going to rise to the occasion.
Yeah.
With no training.
Yeah, you won't.
You won't.
No.
You're not going to rise to the occasion. You're going to fall to the level of your training.
You're going to do that, and you're going to make excuses why you didn't.
Yes. Yeah.
You're going to make an excuse why you were a coward.
Yes.
Like, that's exactly what it's going to be. Because if you don't know what you're going to do, you don't. It's like people, like, the new trend now is like, there's like asking their dads to skip. Like, oh yeah, I know how to skip. Have you seen that trend on like on social media?
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
Well, like just trying to ask an older guy to learn how to skip and they can't do it.
Oh,
It's the same thing. If you haven't done violence and you haven't done anything
yeah.
recently, your body probably forgot it.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
your brain's like, oh, I can do that, no problem. It's gotta be, you know, what have you done for me lately type thing. Like,
Yeah.
you like trained and stay in it.
These skills are all perishable, right?
Oh,
So,
100%.
if you learn to type,
Yeah.
in middle school, you took typing in middle school,
Yeah.
you never type again.
Yeah.
You can't type anymore.
No.
And it's cool. Like you say, hey man, I got a black belt in 1994.
Yeah.
What have you done since then? Are you still a black belt?
Yeah.
It's that kind of
And they'll say yes. And they and I truly believe people think they are, but they're not.
no way.
Like, when was the last time you took off in a sprint?
Right.
I'll tell you, I tried it with my son the other. Didn't turn out as well as I wanted it to be. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's just like, it's your body will regret. Like, you know what I mean? It's not. You got to keep these things. Like, I call it flipping your switch. Like, it needs to happen like that,
Yes.
not a warm up or a think about it or try to go back in the Rolodex of time to your training to figure these things out. Like that portion of life saving skills needs to be on speed dial up front.
Right up front. And thankfully you were that kind of man, right?
Yeah.
You trained, you put that time in, you were able to come through something that most of us are just never going to have to contend with, on a level that we're not going to have to contend with it. So this happens, your partner's right there, and this impacts so many people.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You've got family, you've got friends, we've got other officers. What are the first hours like for you?
Man, it was, I mean, I can't say it was cool, but it was great. Like, it was, my partner showed up, immediately began buddy aid, did things like, we're sitting there, dapping each other up and, doing things. And like, I was just going through kind of my medical training, like, all right, wiggle my toes, do this, do that, do this. Like, I knew I was hitting the face and like, so he's kind of keeping me still and doing things like that. But, I don't know did you ever know Pete Solis?
Yeah, I met him a couple times.
Yeah. So Pete got shot up similar to I did and took it like a savage. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
he was awesome. And like, so like in my mind, if I was ever hit and doing things, like I'm going to be like Pete. So like, I wanted to be, for if anyone saw me there, if it ever happened to them, I want to be like Jared. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so I was trying to be very just strong and like not worry about myself and just, and it worked out. Like, it just kept me calm. It kept, when we made it to the hospital, it kept my family calm. It kept because I was just like, no, I'm going to be good. They're going to take me back for surgery and I'm going to be good. And that's really kind of when I went back for surgery is when it went bad. Like, that's when I started spiking fever and I had no idea. Like, my family had to really worry about, like, in my mind, I was never going to die. Like, I was like, I'm good. Like, I mean, they're going to patch me up, but they had to contend with, like, for 10 hours or so, like, am I going to die because of the fever? Like, they couldn't figure out what was going on with me. So it was harder on my family and friends than it was Jared, because I was out.
Yeah. I mean, at that point you're in surgery.
Yeah.
Do I understand that correctly? You've been hit multiple times.
Yeah. So I got hit 7 times. So I got hit 1 through the face, 3 across my chest and my body armor, 1 above my left knee and exited out high in my left thigh, my right buttock, and it went and hit my hip, cracked my hip and lodged there, and then a graze of my right elbow.
Good God, man. So just a hell of a thing to go through, but you're unconscious, your family's out there, they're worried about you. What kind of support are they getting?
Man, it was, the sheriff's office literally took over Shands Hospital, like that, the trauma center. Like, I couldn't look anywhere and not see a blue uniform.
That's amazing.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
everywhere they wheeled me in something, there was, I mean, outside, it was just, my wife pulls up, someone met her out there, took the car keys, just escorted her in, took my car wherever. Like, I mean, it was, the brotherhood was there. Like, it was awesome.
That's extraordinary.
Yeah.
So obviously you survived that night, or you come through that. This has to be a pretty lengthy ordeal, healing from this just physically.
Yeah, well, ish. So Shands is a great hospital to go to when you're shot.
For trauma. Yeah.
but probably once they fix you, you want to get out of there.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get out of there.
Gotcha.
So I got shot Saturday night, and I checked myself out of the ICU Tuesday morning,
Okay.
which probably wasn't the best to go home. And my wife's not a trained nurse or anything, but she took care. I wanted just to be home. I wanted to get out of the hospital.
Fair.
So, altogether, that first, like from being shot to me going back to work the first time was 6 months.
Okay.
And then I would have to get surgeries, probably for the next. I mean, I wore braces for like 6 years as they're trying to fix my jaw and all that. So, like, I'd have to do different surgeries, and I'd be out for 6 weeks and then back. So, like, altogether, I probably was out over 6 years after it, probably out for a full year, like, off and on. But
So you're going in and out of surgery
oh yeah,
during this period of time. What's that doing to your headspace?
man, I was just good with it. Like, I mean? This is because I took meat hits and I took bone hits. The bone hits are they're a booger. Like, they got to take care of a lot of things. Meat hits aren't that big of a deal. So this jaw, I think I had 13 surgeries just on my jaw to like fix it and put teeth in and it just kind of became part of the deal. You know what I mean? It was just, hey, I'm going to go in, I'm going to go to sleep for a little bit. And I'm going to come back and be better. Like, I'm going to be closer to being finished.
Sure.
Like, that was the more mindset that I always took. It was always the goal to be, 100 or as best as I can be from what I am. And this was one step closer to that goal.
Understood. And, most of us get banged up to one degree or another. I mean, I've got, I'm 52. I've got a new hip already. I've got disc replaced. It's just, I've had my face rebuilt, because it's eardrum taken off, ears taken off, rebuilt. But I think when you are of the mindset that I'm not just gonna be okay, I'm gonna be good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come out. I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna be maybe even better than I was before. That really helped me to kind of stay focused.
Oh, 100%. Like, I mean, there was always, I've been injured several times after this, and like in the line, like rip like a full pec tear fighting a suspect, calf tear. Like, you're going to get banged up. Like, and it's just understanding that early, I think, always helps you get back to. I mean, I don't like it comes from my sports days, I guess. Like, yeah, I'm going to get hurt. I know I'm getting hurt at some point, but unless you tell me I can't do it, I'm getting back to that playing field.
That's a really good point.
You know what I mean? Like, that's just how it's going to be.
Let's talk about that for a second, because I think you make a really interesting point, because combat sports was my life growing up, right?
Yeah.
So I was never emotional about getting punched in the face. I was never emotional about getting a rib broken or this thing or that thing. So I never really got spun up about that. And you've got that early experience as well. You know, where there's pain, there's discomfort, there's physical contact. When we're looking at younger generations of police officers, I think there's a lot of value they bring to the table. But I think one of the changes I've seen is that there is maybe less of that moving in. How do you feel?
I don't know. Like, I mean, I feel like I want to say yes, but I know some kids who are absolute savages. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and I'm just like, so I have 3 boys. Like, my boys are savages, and their friends are savages. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm just like, do I think maybe some people, like, maybe more savages became the police, and now, like, it's creeping in with just lesser, weaker minded people.
Okay.
Like, it's becoming more of just an easy career, or maybe, like, you know what I mean? Or like, they want to become, I don't think a lot of young people know, like, you watch CSI, or you're like, I want to be a crime scene investigator. Well, you got to be a cop first. Sure. You know what I mean? Like, you just can't be a crime scene investigator. Like,
I was just talking about that the other day.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things that are like, look really cool and sexy, but you do still have to be a cop. And and like, for me, it wasn't ever, you shouldn't survive on the suspect's decision to let you live. Absolutely. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, you need to be able to do your job, and yes, hopefully you make it there, but still train to be physically fit, to be that that animal inside when you need it.
Absolutely, you do. And I love that you said that about your kids. You know, my youngest son Jude, um, my daughter
Yeah.
Emma. You know, they've been training their whole lives. They shoot, they fight. You know, they know how to do these things because I want them to be their own best protector.
Yeah.
You know, I want them to be in a position to do that. You know, in high school, my daughter's deadlifting well over 300 pounds. You
Yeah.
know, she's a strong girl. So I think with our experiences, we know how important it is.
Yeah.
For younger generations to have that martial mindset to some
Yeah.
degree. You know. So I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. But I mean, like, even their friends, they're the same dudes that I grew up with. You know what I mean? Like, they're knuckleheads. And so, I mean, I just don't see it. I mean, I think, you know, you probably became the police just like I did. I like to drive cars, drive fast, shoot guns, and fight. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and this was pre 9/11, and I think we lost a lot of guys that would come, that went to the military, that would have come to law enforcement because of 9/11. They felt they felt the calling, and
Yeah.
that was, but pre 9/11, kind of the military wasn't that calling. If you wanted to do something, you went to a big city and you got on a SWAT team and you got on their task force and you went to work.
Went to
Like, you
work.
know,
There you go.
so
So, man, all these 13 surgeries on your jaw, that's wild, man.
yeah,
All this, you've got in a position where you can go back to work. Were you able to go back to SWAT?
yeah, went right back to SWAT.
Outstanding.
So it was good. You know, I went back. So this happened. I had 5 years on the department, 6 years on the department, and then, you know, I finished out my career on SWAT, and then was in a shooting before this one. Then I was in two other shootings after this one. Like, you know, it was. I've had a blessed career. Like, it's kind of weird sounding, but there's evil people in this world, and
Yeah.
they need to be
Well,
dealt with.
it's always a thing to think about because, you know, had another officer been in that position, we might be at a police officer's funeral.
Yeah,
You know?
100%.
So it's you know, that might throw some people off, you know, to hear us talk like that, but you know, we train
Yeah,
to be in these positions.
and that was my thing. It wasn't. I wasn't such a badass, and I trained so much that the bullets like steered, you know, clear of,
Right, yeah.
you know, call it luck, divine intervention. But I had the minds, like, so all mindset does is help you take advantage of the luck
Yes.
of still being in
Oh my God.
being able to fight.
Yeah.
But then you need the skill set on top of that. That's like people with that mindset of I'll just do this and I'll do that. Well, if you've never trained it, and you got to have the skill set to match your mindset. That's what carries you on to win.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, like, that was, if I just laid there, even not returning fire, maybe one of those shots that he was shooting at me would have hit me right between the face. But now that I'm giving him something to think about,
Yeah.
and react to, now he's not hitting what he's doing. I'm in his, you know, in his mind, living rent free now. I'm just giving
Right.
it to him.
Because
So,
yeah, I mean, action is always faster than reaction.
Yeah.
If you're forcing him to react, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, you're buying some invaluable time. So years go by, you have a full career, you retire.
Yep.
One of the extraordinary things that I find about people like you, people that I work around every day, is that we go through this shit, right? This
Yeah.
absolute shit, and then we go, how can I help somebody else?
Yeah.
How do you do that today?
Well, so I started wrestling group training about 15 years ago, 14 years ago. And so now I go out and train law enforcement, military, and qualified civilians in firearms training, mindset, tactics, you know, everything that I've learned. Because I started Reston Group because I lived in my JSO bubble. And we are very well trained. We are very well supported. We're a great agency. And after the shooting, like, different places would reach out and I'd go speak and do like a debrief of my shooting.
Sure.
And man, I realized real quick around this country that not everybody's that JSO bubble.
No.
And I was like, I think this was my calling. Why I'm still here is to help people. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, that's why I started Wrestling Group and devoted, you know, into training these necessary skills. And not that just because I've been there, done that. Because I'll tell you, like, during these debriefs and stuff, it's not that I will teach you something new in these debriefs, but I'm validating the stuff that you already heard, because This is what happened to me. This is what happened. Like validate and say that didn't happen to me type stuff. So just getting out there and giving back to this community of law enforcement and just Americans, like it's good. Like I love it.
Man, it's so good. You know, I got to start a Krav Maga law enforcement for Krav Maga program for the United States Krav Maga Association. So I was exposed to so many different departments around the country. And you're right. You know, you get to some departments, you're like, oh my gosh, there is nothing here.
Yeah, there's been zero training. Like, you know what I mean? Like they just go to the academy and then they come out and there's nothing. And you're like, whoa, man.
Right. You know, and when we ask people to go out and do these incredible things, make an extraordinary ask of these people, and we're not giving them any tools.
Right.
And a lot of times there's not the political will, there's not, you know, the will to kind of push this training through and pay for it.
Right.
Because
100%.
It's always $1. You
yeah. And if nothing's ever happened there, that doesn't mean nothing will happen.
Right.
You know, most major events that happen, it's always like no one would have thought it would happen here. Well, you should think it's going to happen there.
I always say
it's going to happen. It's going to happen somewhere, and be ready for it.
And all the school shootings. Who heard of Columbine? Who heard of Orange, North Carolina?
Who heard of Uvalde?
Who heard of that?
Yeah, and you know, and that was pure act of cowardism by the first ones to show up, and then just pure heroics by the guys who were trained.
Yeah.
Like BORTAC guys showed up and like, hey, I got the training for this. I got the equipment for this. We're going. Like, you know what I mean? And they went and saw. Like, that to me is what training does. Like, just because you've been to a training, that doesn't mean you're trained at it. That means like, hey, now I know how to train, I guess.
Right.
And like that stuff needs to be repped and repped and repped and repped because you want it to be automated.
Yes.
Not, oh my God, because those dudes use their training to explain their cowardice.
Yes. Yeah, they did. Yeah, all that standby time, man. But I'm sure like it was probably the same for you, but I heard about all that standby time. I'm just fucking horrified, man.
Yeah.
I'm just, how can you live with yourself?
Yeah. And when that's what they were trained that if it's a hostage situation, I was like, no. Like you're making that up to fit your narrative of being a coward.
Yeah. I think not. Yeah. Man, so I'm sure you're doing extraordinary stuff with the Reston training group. I'd love to come out and do some training with you guys sometime.
Yeah.
That alone, you know, is just an incredible way to give back to the profession, to the people doing the job, to your people in general. So really proud that you're out there doing that, and that there are people out there doing that.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to, right?
No. I mean, I don't have to, but I do. Like, you know, it's my thing.
Here I have to.
Yeah. Like, so I also work for Safariland, and that's another way of just giving back to the fellas, like making sure that they have the best equipment out there. Cause I mean, you know, my body armor stopped 3 shots, and I truly believe it's because of that body armor was the best body armor provided by that company. And like making sure that standard's still pushed out to the fellas, so they're going to be good when they get into it.
That's a great point. Jared, it's been extraordinary having you on. It's been extraordinary hearing the story, kind of up close and personal, what it was like for you to go through that. I hope everybody watching understands what Jared had to go through to get to the point where he could survive an event like this. Yeah. It requires an extraordinary amount of discipline, work, training, and maintenance of that. So if you're out there and you're thinking about this, trust us again. You're not going to rise to the occasion. You are going to fall to the level of your training. So get on that.
Yeah, for sure.
Is there anything you want to say in parting? Anything you want to shout out?
No. Hey, if you are out there training and doing it, man, just keep it up, dude. Like you're on the right path, dude. And I know it's hard to keep training for a game that you might not ever play. Yeah. But when he comes knocking, man, be ready to answer that door.
Fantastic. For the guys of you out there, absolutely follow that advice. If anybody is struggling with their mental health, feel free to reach out to Here Tomorrow. Go to heretomorrow.org. We can help kind of move you along that path. Never be afraid to speak out, guys. If it's mentionable, it's manageable. I say it all the time. Jared, thank you again for coming on the show. And guys, we'll see you next time.